This is a textual analysis of Candystripped by Alex Duckett, James Lockton, Oliver Thornton and Sebastian Dewhurst. One of the first shots you see of the main character is a medium shot of him sitting on a sofa. This suggests you're meeting a character but haven't yet learned about him, as there isn't a close-up, which would make things more personal. The medium shot also shows his experiences are limited to his own house, suggesting the possibility of him being an introvert. Also, the furniture and the character's clothing is very bland and beige. This connotes that his life is fairly bleak and dull because there is no colour which brings life. The only fairly bright thing in the shot is the blue can of beer the character holds. This connotes that it's his own happiness because it's the only thing that brightens up his life. There is also a long shot of him walking away from the camera into a field. This connotes his isolation and remoteness, as there is barely any life around him. The fact he is walking away from the camera and into an isolated situation connotes that he is doing it to himself and possibly wanting to be alone. Later on, there is a shot of a man throwing an old picture of a woman into a fire. The picture is a mystery to the viewers, which raises a question of who she is, therefore creating an intellectual pleasure for the audience. The fact he is throwing this picture into a fire could connote that there is a break in the relationship between him and this woman. It could also show the anger he has towards this person. This leaves questions of why he feels this way, and again creating an intellectual pleasure for the audience. A dissolve then moves this shot to another of the fire. The dissolve itself connotes the memory of the person fading and the character moving on, suggesting development in the main character. There is later a low-angle shot of the character looking towards the fire. This suggests contemplation and thought processes going on in the main character because he is looking shot. The angle itself connotes that he has power and control over the situation and wants to see these pictures burn. But also the angle of the shot suggests that even though he has power, it is constricted to his own home. When looking at Candystripped, there are a lot of questions that arise as the audience wonder what his motives are and why he is doing what he is doing, because what he seems to be doing is fairly random. As it gives the audience too many questions, it can put them off, as they can give up on trying to explain everything. This can lead them to think it's boring. The other weakness we found was with the over-shoulder shot of the character reading the letter. The font on the letter seemed to make it look old. However, because it's not set in an old time, we wonder why it has just been sent to him, so confuses the viewer. We particularly liked these shots of the character walking away from the camera in the field. The extreme long shot helped to show his isolation as he was walking alone. This is something we'd love to include in our film when our character is eating at the dinner table. We could use a long shot to enable the audience to see the empty table around her and therefore reinforce the idea of the character being isolated from society. Also, we thought the music used created an effective mood to the opening sequence. The slow-paced rhythm emphasised the character's uneventful life. This helped to show us how important music is when creating the right tone within an opening sequence.